Morning, welcome to Hardy Classics. Monday morning, nice and early, 6 o'clock-ish. Birds are out there whistling, sun shining for now. What we're going to do today, what's on the agenda? Got a bit of paperwork to do today. Got to review the advertising a bit, review a couple of car prices. We've had a few inquiries over the weekend, so we'll try and follow those up. Bits and bobs in the workshop, shuffle a few cars around, move a few cars down here from our storage facility, and we'll just see how the day pans out. So jobs to do today. The recovery truck, windscreen, smashed it the other week, got a stone chip on it. Ooh, that nasty thing right the way along there. That's going to be a costly repair. Should have probably got the little chip in the corner done when it happened, you know, when they say, oh, get the chip done. Should have probably got that done. There you go. And another thing I want to do is not ride on Thomas the Tank. Got this new T6 transporter trailer, and it is fantastic. Great piece of kit. Absolutely brilliant. We got the one with a tilt recovery spec and the drop down tailgate. We just got the Ferrari on at the Bangers and Cash show the other day, and when we loaded it back up we had to use the ramps off the recovery truck. So these trailers, if they haven't got that recovery ramp on, usually come with a set of ramps that fit in there and a set of crossover ramps that's fit in there. So we're going to buy some. Won't be a bad thing anyway, because some of the little cars we get, they're that narrow, they sometimes, you know, fit in those holes, so it'll fill the deck in. It's another thing we've got to do, is it? Going in the workshop. I know a lot of people on my website haven't seen my workshop. So I'm going to go in there this morning. Like I say, our mechanic Mark's away on holiday for another week. Somewhere in Scotland, I think, in his camper van. So we're going to attempt to get in here this morning, and I'll show you around. Right, we're in the workshop, lights on. Currently in the workshop at the minute is the Mondial Ferrari, which we recommissioned for the supercar show at Beaulieu, and we've test drove it, probably done, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 miles in it or something silly. And it's got an oil leak, so that's one of Mark's first jobs. I still love this car. I know they're the cheapest Ferrari, people say, you know, the cheap relation, but it's still a Ferrari, end of the day. What else is in the workshop at the minute to do? Bits and pieces. Well, transit seats to put back in. Yes, I'll just show you this down here. A rebuild kit for the Velox. Right, people who know us know we have veteran cars, and what have we been doing? Yeah, this is off the George Richards. It's basically the carburetor and induction tube. We're having a lot of problem with the carburetor on that car. So what we've decided to do is to fit a copy updraft eBay special carburetor, and we've had a new tube fabricated here. Chaps at Shildon Engineering, excellent guys, manufactured this tube, and we're going to use it to fit the new copy carburetor. And obviously, you know, if it works, well, we might look around for a period carburetor. If it doesn't work, well, we haven't ruined anything because all the old bits and bobs is in there. So that's another job for Mark when he gets back. We'll list the jobs. There she is, Old Faithful, the Krypton tuning machine. That's going to be used when he gets back as well, because we've got one or two splutters and backfires. Yeah, this Griffin, he broke my neck. this is to look at. 380 Grace Griffin there. That's to do a bit of work on. And we've got under here, oh, O'Reilly, I think. Right, we'll go on through here. This is what we're going to be doing today. We've got the little 7-top at saloon. Put a battery on, put some fresh fuel in, fire her up, see if she runs and starts. Apparently she does, but the thing is special. Again, take it outside, photograph it, fire it up. We've had this one running, and the brush. I've drove this one, and it drives really nice for one of these old things. So that's to get on the website, advertise, and get it for sale. I'm in this bit of the workshop, which is a bit of a storage shed, really. I'll just show you some pumps. We've got about, well, there's 3 or 4 pumps in here, 3 I think, all ready to paint. So they've all been stripped down by my friend Peter Hollingworth. They're in primer and they need painting. So I need to get my finger out with that one. Into the showroom, because I want to show you something in here. What I want to show you is the amount of paintwork. Did I say paintwork? Paperwork that came with a brush. Here, have a look at this. There's boxes and boxes and boxes of it. There's files. I have never ever had a car come, you know, with as much information about these cars. It's unbelievable, really. You know, the guy must have spent a lifetime not only enjoying the car, but researching the car. You know, because to a lot of people, it's not just about driving a car or fixing a car. It's about researching the car's history. I mean, to me personally, I don't get it, and I probably don't get it because I'm spoilt with cars. You know, I can have 3 or 4 cars in a week, and some people don't have 3 or 4 cars in a lifetime. So I'm spoilt. So I don't get all the, you know, who was the last owner. You know, did it have a, you know, I get it here all the time. People ringing up and saying, do you know anything about the car? And if I buy a car and it's come from a deceased estate or it's come from an auction, I don't know anything about the car, you know. And they look surprised. They look or sound shocked. Oh, he doesn't know anything about the car. Oh, he doesn't know anything about the car. Well, you know, unless we can speak to the dead, or you know, something like along them lines. No, I don't know anything about the car. So I get a lot of people actually, you know, saying to me, you know, well, why don't you know about the car? You know, so like I say, a lot of the time they're from a deceased estate and I don't know, you know, it's as simple as that. It's not that I'm being ignorant or don't have any knowledge, it's just I don't know. And the other flip side of the coin is I've probably owned about, I don't know, 60 cars. Some aren't listed for sale, but I've probably got about 60. I can't know everything about every car. You know, people say to me, well, do you not know these cars did this? And I'll say, well, no, but did you know this car did this? So, again, you know, I'm not an expert on one particular car, you know, but there are people out there, you know. People come here all the time and say, well, I know more about these cars. And I say, well, you probably do. But I don't just sell TVRs or MGBs, do you know? I sell brushes, and sometimes I think I'm as daft as a brush. Talking of daft as a brush, I don't know why this car here hasn't sold. Honestly, this car here, I have no idea why nobody has bought this car. And everybody out there is going to say, well, I know why. It's too dear. It's too dear. You can get an Mg Midget for £5,000. Well, you can get an Mg Midget for £5,000. You can, but you can't get an Mg Midget like this for £5,000. And you can't take an Mg Midget for £5,000 and for another £6,500 turn it into this little Mg Midget. and she is absolutely stunning, and that's what it's had done to it. I can't believe anybody hasn't bought it. Honestly, we had one guy look at it, him and his wife, and to be fair, they were a nice enough couple. We entertained them, we showed them around the little museum, I don't know, they had a cup of tea or whatever. Took it for a test drive, came back, said couldn't fault us, had another one to look at, and didn't come back. And again, look at it. It's absolutely immaculate. It's an immaculate car. A lot of these cars, yeah, you know, you think, well, I can go and buy one at an auction cheaper than that. Well, you probably can. But when you buy it at the auction and you bring it out the auction, you've brought all the problems with it. And that's what we have to do. You know, when we buy cars from auctions, we have to stand on them and repair them. And there's obviously costs there, but why isn't that car sold? It's absolutely gorgeous. No idea. While I'm on the rant about why some cars haven't sold and some cars have a look at this. Why, oh why, has that car not sold? It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely. Yeah, it's top money. But it's a top car. Look at it. Have a look round it. Look inside it. Look everywhere. Find a fault. I mean, I can find a fault or anything, but this is difficult, I tell you. It's absolutely gorgeous. We've had one or two inquiries on it. I mean, I took it to the Bangers and Cash Live show, and there was a German guy, and to be fair, he asked the price. We told him the price, and he wasn't fazed. So there you go. He said in Germany that car would be another 10 or 15,000 euros in that condition. So we've dropped a few £1,000 off this car this week. I'm just going to clear it out. So if you're interested, give us a shout. Like I say, if you want the best Vauxhall Velox in the country, you're looking at it. Earlier I showed you the box of bits for the veteran car, the carburetor and the induction tube. Well, this is the car it's going on. So this is the car it's going on. Hopefully it'll fit without too much fettling, and hopefully it solves the problem that we have with the car. And by doing that, I mean we can get to Brighton this year. So there you go. There's the beast. And by God, she is a beast as well. I'm not sure where this engine's original, you know. Looks very marine looking to me, but there you go. So we've moved a bit further forward there this morning. It's 9:45, something like that. Had to come down to the bank, pay a check in. Yeah, some people still do pay by checks. And then got to drive up to Blythe to have a look at another job for another business that I'm involved in. I've got a construction business that I've had for forever, really. I think I started when I was about 19, and we've got about 25 guys. Sometimes goes to 30, comes back down to 20, but I think there's about 25 guys, and we're heavily involved in civil engineering and building works. We look after trading estates on a property maintenance side as well. So I've got to go up to Blythe, have a look at the job. Apparently young kids are chucking tiles off a roof at passing pedestrians. So we've got to go and see what we can do about that. I can't understand what we can do unless we're allowed to shoot them down, but there you go. Anyway, back to the bank. So back down the bank, paid a check in. Like I say, people still pay by checks. We sold a car to an old guy at the weekend down in Sudbury. So we dropped that car off. He actually sent us a check up for the car, never viewed the car. He's 81-year-old. What a lovely guy he was, 81-year-old. Wanted a car that didn't have an ECU, because he said he was sick of getting in his car and all the lights flashing and everything. So he saw the advert for the Fiesta, rang us up, said, I've watched the video. Is the car like you've described it? I said, you've seen the video, the car is what it is. It's a Ford Fiesta Popular Plus. You can't make any better or any worse of them, can you really? So he said, I'll send you a check-up. So he sent us a check-up for, it should have been 6,250, and he sent us a check-up for 6,250,000. So we couldn't cash that. So we said, look, we'll just bring the car down. Just give us the check when we get there. So there's a bit of trust involved there. Anyway, went down. Cut long story short, went down, dropped the car off on Friday. Lovely, like I say, 81-year-old. Didn't look 81, looked about 61. Got his whole life story. Smashing guy. Really showed us his motorbikes. He had motorbikes in the house. Obviously, he wasn't married. Showed us his motorbike collection. Like I say, we had his life story, lovely guy, and then we thought, do we drive back or do we just drive another hour and stay in the New Forest? And that's what we did, and came back on Saturday. Yeah, just about to drive off there, had a really interesting conversation. A guy called Terry from Doncaster rang us up there. Made a pretty bold statement as well. He said, obviously you buy and sell classic cars. He said, I've got a Vauxhall Cresta which is in better condition than the Vauxhall Velox you've got advertised. So I thought, well, how do you know that? You haven't seen the car, you haven't drove the car. But anyway, cut long story short, he says he's got this immaculate Vauxhall Cresta. It is absolutely stunning, and he reckons it's in better condition than mine. And I get this all the time off people. They'll say, oh, you've got one for sale. And mine's better than that, and you think, well, how do you know if you haven't seen the car? But anyway, cut long story short, we'll follow it through. So we've arrived at Blythe, pound stretcher or Poundland. I'll look on the order. Pound stretcher, and we'll have a look up and see where these lovely young lads and lasses possibly have been throwing roof tiles off. So how have they been getting up there? Spikes on there, we'll put them on. Barbed wire on the back of the stairs. I'll just flick round, I want to show you this lovely scene. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. That's somebody's back garden, roof garden, whatever you want to call it. Good, isn't it? Anyway, we'll walk down the street and have a look, see what we can see. Doubtless. Possibility they could be getting on the top of there, jumping along. We actually fitted some anti-vandal spikes on this lamppost because they were climbing up this lamppost last year and getting access to the roof. And it looks like they've been flattened down for some reason. Not so sure. I'll have a walk around the front. Right, not quite sure what we're going to do with this one. Can't really find anywhere where they've been getting up. I mean, they could get up anywhere. Just talked to them in the shop there, and they haven't got a clue how they've been getting up. So, without having some CCTV footage or someone on the ground, actually physically seeing, they're climbing up that lamppost or they're climbing up that wall, there's not a lot we can do. So let's move on a bit. Actually, they've got a camera there, so they might have a bit of footage somewhere. Right, we're just about to set off from the Blythe site, what we've been looking at. Again, those who knows know I have a couple of businesses. This one I've had forever. So we've just about to set off, and I've just had an interesting conversation about a Land Rover possibly coming up for sale. A couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, I think it might have been, I bought a couple of Land Rovers off a guy who I've known for quite a while. I bought a lovely original Series 1 that he'd had forever. Restoration project, but all there, dry stored, been in storage for something like 15 years or something. And he finally just said, look, I'm never going to do it. So we bought that, brought it back, got it running, sold it. Consequently, we bought another Land Rover off him. This time, this was a bit of a
different kettle of fish. It was a Land Rover 110 with less than 9,000 miles on, or 9,000 miles. What a stunning vehicle. Really clean. I mean, the chassis still had the barcode tags, paper barcode tags on it. It was that good. And we advertised that for sale and sold it to a guy from down in York, a serious collector. He had a couple of cars. He had a Porsche, well, I think it was one of the last air-cooled Porsches, and he wanted a really good Defender, and that was a really good Defender. I'm waffling on a bit here, but the same guy who sold us the 2 Land Rovers had a third. He had a Land Rover 130, is it? High capacity pickup, TD5 02, 25,000, 26,000 miles or something along them lines, that he said he'd never sell. And I've just got off the phone to him and he wants to sell it. We didn't talk much about the money. The way he was talking, it might be one where I might just ask him if he wants to do sale or return, because the Land Rover market's funny at the minute. Well, all markets are funny, but the Land Rover market's a bit funny. It's a specialist thing. You can have the best Land Rover in England, but you might have it for 2 years before you sell it. So I'll probably say to him, look, if we can't agree on a figure, let's take it on sale or return. It's something I do now and again. Probably 10% of my cars are sale or return. I think at the minute I've got, what sale or return? Spitfire sold, Beaulieu. So I've got 1 car in on sale or return. So if you've got the time, to wait, you're not desperate for the money, and you want to hold it out and you want to try the market, it's not a bad way to do it, to be fair. We come out, we photograph the car at your place, we get a load of details off you, and the car just sits at yours. We get all the inquiries, we advertise it obviously, we get all the inquiries at ours, we'll filter them through. If there's somebody really serious, we'll put them in touch with you. Basically then what happens is, he'll view the car, he can view it at your place, or we can bring it to ours. Then what happens, if the deal's successful, the money goes direct to you. So we don't have anything to do with the money. That way we don't get involved with VAT or anything like that. The money goes direct to you, and then you just pay us a seller's fee. And I'm pretty negotiable on the seller's fees. I'm not, I've sold them for 500 quid, I've sold them for 1,500 quid, I've sold them for 2 grand, I've sold them for 5 grand. So I'm pretty negotiable. If, it depends what you've got in the deal. If you've had a right good deal, fair enough, I'll ask a little bit more commission, but I'm pretty flexible on it, to be fair. So there you have it. Let's go a bit further. Well, we just left, like I say, Blythe, and I thought, well, it would be a shame to drive past WB and Sons auction and not have a look in and see what is in their next sale. Might be something for me, might not. For those who don't know, WB and Sons are a small family classic car auction up at Killingworth. Samson Close, I think it's called Samson Close. I saw the sign when I came in. Been going, I don't know, maybe 5 years, something like that. Just, like I say, there's a couple of brothers, 2 or 3 brothers, and the dad. I don't know whether the dad's involved now. And we've bought a couple of things and sold a couple of things. Nice family, decent enough. And, sometimes turn the odd 1 or 2 decent cars out. So I'll have a look in, see what they've got. Yeah, I've just come out of WB and Sons. 1 or 2 nice bits and pieces in there. I didn't really want to film when I'm in there, to be fair. I always like how Patrick, my son, filming us when I'm doing bits of walk arounds and stuff. And it's not fair catching people on the hop either, I don't think. Well, yeah, there's a couple of nice Cosworths in there. Took me eye. Nice pair of Cosworths. 1 or 2 minis in there as well. I seem to have quite a collection of minis in there. Anybody looking for a mini, you're pretty much spoiled for choice. So back in the office. Changed my shirts. Weather's stupid really. 1 minute it's red hot, the next minute it's raining. It's crazy. Anyway, I had a conversation this morning with a guy down in Doncaster about the Vauxhall Cresta. Similar shape to the Vauxhall Velox. Said he'd send us some pictures over. He said it was the best one in the UK. I looked at the pictures, it's not bad. I'm going to go down there in the morning and we'll have a look and see if we can buy it, if it looks okay.